Greetings, church, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, USA. So I'm coming to you in this pastoral short to make an announcement about our service on the 22nd of August. So I'm sad to announce that in light of how the COVID-19 spike is going, we're going ahead and announcing the cancellation of that service on the 22nd of August. So look, church, stay tuned to our newsletter, to Facebook, to WhatsApp to know whether the replacement will be a live Zoom service or a pre-recorded YouTube sermon. So church, we know this is hard. We're meant to be together, side by side, face to face, hearing each other sing, having time to hang out and chat and catch up. And so this is so not ideal. But I think what's even harder is watching the situation on the ground in Kenya, watching the spike in cases and deaths across the country. So as of Wednesday the 11th, that day had the second highest number of cases since the pandemic began, and the curve is only going up at a very high trajectory. On Wednesday as well, it had the highest number of deaths. The death rate is at the highest it's been since the pandemic. So on Wednesday, the 7-day average was 31 deaths per day. And perhaps what's even harder is knowing that because of the lack of testing and the lack of hospital beds and reporting, that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, regarding our cancellation of the service on the 1st of August, we know that felt abrupt, and it was abrupt, in part because the cases had not started spiking yet. But on that Friday and Saturday, following the CS's address about the government of Kenya's guidelines, as an elder team, as we considered the reliable reports that we had coming from sources regarding the hospital situation, we felt it was best to continue our approach that we've been doing since the pandemic began, and that is to err on the side of caution. Now that phrase is interesting. It implies that there can be error. And indeed, hindsight is 20/20. It's easy to second guess and look in retrospect and think woulda, coulda, shoulda, but we believe strongly in that principle guiding us. We believe that the best way that we can love our neighbors is to take that approach when it comes to being a church family and how we gather together. The situation is very serious, church, so let's stay vigilant with those 3 W's: washing our hands, watching our distance, and wearing a mask. Those things can work, they do work, and they'll still continue to work. And our church, I'll say it again, our world would be in a much different place if people did at least those 3 things. So let's continue to do that individually, to love our neighbors and to love our city. Now that said, we do want to find ways where in smaller groups we can have people connect in person. As we continue to go on in this pandemic and have wave after wave, we know that for our own mental health, it's going to be important to meet as we can as safely as possible. So our home groups are talking about this. Our children's church is talking about this. How can we get people together in smaller groups in a safe way? So one other way is these live audiences in a garden where we record a pre-recorded YouTube sermon. So stay tuned again to our communication channels to know how you can sign up to come sing together out loud, to come hear live preaching, and to have a chance to fellowship with other people. So we're sorry to announce this about the 22nd of August, but know that we love you, and we're in this together, we're with you, and let's keep praying. Love you, church.